What is going on, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Saturday. And you saw in the title of this live stream, we're talking about money. We're talking about money because something happened last week and something happened weeks before that affect you if you're in these markets. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about other markets. If this immediate change didn't affect you where you're at right now, it may be affecting you. And we're going to be talking about, are there some trends happening right now that may improve the Uber system for drivers? And also Lyft. This may improve the system for Lyft drivers as well. So welcome to another live stream. Let me know where you're watching from right now. Post in the live chat right now, guys. Hope you're doing well today on this Saturday. Hello, guys. Welcome. Jose Contreras, thanks for joining. Ali, I see you in there in the live chat. Thanks for joining, guys. So today, guys, what we're talking about, you saw it. You probably saw it, right? Anyone up in LA, some big changes that happened just last Wednesday. We're going even bigger than that. We're going even more macro level than that, talking about some changes that may be affecting you. And I want to welcome you guys. I see you in here. And I want to add one thing here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, there we go. Hey guys, how's it going? Timothy Wong, howdy, Mike, Milwaukee. Hey, I don't think this affected Milwaukee actually. I thought it did. I thought something was happening in Milwaukee. I guess not. Hey, Timothy, thanks for joining. Rudy, thanks as always. 5% increase in Denver. Let me write that down right now. Because Rudy, guys, I have a video that's gonna summarize what we're talking about today. I'm a little off center here, but so I know some people don't want to watch the whole live stream. I'm posting a video, well, maybe tonight. No, we'll say tomorrow. That's going to summarize some of the points that we're talking about today. But today, it allows us to have the discussion with you guys. Hey, Midnight Rider John from Indiana, PA. Hi, Mike. Sitting in a sheet waiting for a ping, a slow night. Well, it's Saturday. Let's see. Oh, wow, guys. We're really going into May soon, I guess, huh? We got another week and a half. I guess schools are starting to slow down. You know, students aren't as amped on going out maybe as in August, let's say. Ali says, I think they raised rates in Los Angeles market. Ali, you hit the nail on the head. That's what we're talking about today, guys. 106 per mile. What's the rate in San Diego? It's still the same, 116. I believe it is per mile, 15 cents a minute. Hey, Ben, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So what happened last Wednesday? I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, but if not, this is what happened. Okay, so if you're in LA, open your Uber apps, and there's so much interesting back and forth about this, about if this even matters, or if this is a really good thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about this tonight. Is Uber increased rates by 10% on economy lines of Uber, that is UberX and Uber Pool, the per mile, per minute, and wait time amounts. So there's an increase in 10%, but what's kind of interesting is that this echoed, kind of piggybacked what happened, a couple of weeks prior, which other markets received pay increases. That is the thesis of what we're talking about today. Appreciate you joining here, guys. Let's see. Alejandro, thanks for joining. Here in Arizona, I would like to see an increase in pay. Congratulations for you guys now. So again, guys, as you can see here on April 20th, that was yesterday, we're increasing the per mile, per minute wait time rates for economy options like UberX and Uber Pool in Los Angeles by 10%. In addition, of course, Uber has to raise rates for themselves as well. And honestly, I don't even think that's a bad thing. I know a lot of people kind of complain that Uber raises the booking fee and that driver doesn't get that. This is the right way to do it. In my opinion, they should be increasing driver rates as well as booking fees as well. Why? Because as we know, or maybe you may not know, Uber's not really making money month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. They're not making money, so they need to increase the rates. And raising the booking fee is a way to do that, and that goes right to Uber. The driver doesn't see that. So they do need to increase their margins to get more profit so they can be a sustainable company, 5 years, 10 years down the road. But they should do it, in my opinion, increasing rates for themselves as well as increasing rates for drivers. Let's take that off real quickly. I got it in time. I got it in time. Did you see that, guys? Hey, Jose Contreras, you are awesome. 199 super chat. What about cargo expansion in San Francisco? Any info? Yes, we do have some info. Jose, I'm gonna ask you to hold on because we do have something to talk about in this live stream. It does affect cargo, as you can see in the ticker right here. Cargo expands. If you guys don't know what cargo is, search for cargo on my channel or check out the links below to find more information. But Jose, yes, there's some information for San Francisco, California, the West Coast in general. We're going to touch on that. I really appreciate the super chat. Super chat activates the Philips Hue light, guys, which completely threw off my white balance on the video, but that's okay. I appreciate that. So guys, Uber increased the rates by 10%. And again, the point I was just making was if Uber increases booking fees as well as the driver rates, I think that's a win-win. Passengers are still going to use it. I'm still going to use it. And a lot of the times passengers don't even realize there's a rate increase. Now, Uber does try to make announcements within the app telling passengers that there are increases, but I'm still going to use it. I think most every other passenger is still going to use it. So Uber, feel free to increase those booking fees, keep it reasonable, but do that in conjunction with increasing driver rates like you did here. Now, I know, 10%, 5%, what you guys mentioned in Denver, it's not a lot of money. Okay, 5 to 10%, it's not a lot, but what I've said months ago was I would hope that they would taper increases over 6 to 12 months. I don't think they're doing that, but I would like them to see rates increasing steadily over 6 to 12 months to get it closer to that $1.50 per mile rate. Let's catch up with you guys. Quaker Oats, thanks for joining as always. Hey Mike, I saw my new rate. It went from 72 cents per mile to 79 cents per mile. And Michael Perez, thanks for joining, says, do you know if Lyft is going to increase their rates? Let's talk about that, guys. Why does Michael ask that? Do you guys think, if you're in LA right now, or let's just think about the LA drivers in general, we just saw this Uber increase last Wednesday, 10%. Do you think that Lyft is going to raise rates as well? Let me know right now. And I know you're guessing, guys. As is tradition here on the channel, we got to let you know the beverage of choice today, right? Let's lock that back into purple. Super Chat does activate that Philips Hue lighting, and it dimmed my... There we go. White balance is okay, I suppose. We'll figure it out. Do you think that Lyft is going to increase rates in LA as well? Let me ask you guys. Ali says Lyft will increase rates too. Quaker Oats says Los Angeles rate is now 79 cents per mile and $12.75 per minute. Here's my thoughts. And let me know still in the live chat or if you're watching this in the rebroadcast in the comments below. For any market that Uber increases rates, do you feel like Lyft is going to increase rates as well? I'm going to give you another 10 seconds. Let me know. Let me know your feedback right now. I'm putting my feedback in 10 seconds. Okay, here's what I think, guys. Check this out. This should look familiar as well. This is a screenshot from just weeks ago. where Uber announced pay increases in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you can see here the increase was also 10%. Most markets in that initial increase, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, I know Ann Arbor, a lot of parts of Michigan had 10% pay increases. We saw here from one of you guys, we did see a 5% increase in Denver, and I do know other markets that have mentioned a 5% increase. Really, I mean, come on, Uber, the minimum's got to be 10%. It's got to be a minimum of 10%. I mean, 5%, come on. But here's what happened in Pittsburgh. And if you saw that video on that increase, we alluded to this. A day later. This was 1 day. I don't even know if it was 24 hours. And guys, hold on. Why do we do this every time, guys? Okay, we had a plug in here so the battery didn't die. Come on. So this was maybe 24 hours later. Is Lyft matched, actually beat, Lyft typically beats prices by 1 cent. So as you can see here, the rates were $1.10 per mile, and Lyft had to beat Uber, as they oddly do every time they do this, by 1 cent, making it $1.21 per mile. And you can see there, that's just on the second, guys. That was about 3 weeks ago. Okay, about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, LA drivers, you may be seeing Lyft. If they haven't even done so already, if they've already done this, somebody let me know. But Lyft is most likely going to match rates as well. Big question here, huge question that sent us around the entire live stream here. I'm going to ask you in just a second. Uberman Tampa, thanks for joining. As always, I'm ready for a raise, but these raises are coming from Florida and Louisiana drivers. Rudy says Lyft will raise rates, believe it or not, for a 5% raise. Drivers will drive for Uber. Again, Rudy, this centers around this big question I'm going to ask you guys coming up here. Quaker Oats says the last thing Lyft said is that rate of pay will stay the same. Interesting. Quaker Oats say the rates of pay will stay the same. That is interesting. Michael says, maybe, yeah, but I think just for Lyft line and regular Lyft. If you guys saw the other live stream that we did, we talked a little bit about nutrition and eating organic. Check out today's beverage. An organic energy drink, guys. Really? Really? They exist. Tastes very good. Tastes very good. That's the beverage of choice tonight. And it still looks a little dark, the image, but we'll work with it. Okay. Midnight Rider John says, since the rates increase, I'm seeing more drivers out. Not always great in my micro markets. Also, more riders are avoiding surge. Interesting. Waiting it out, switching to Lyft, or walking. That is interesting. So here's a big question, guys, that centers around this entire live stream. 10% increase in Pittsburgh. In all those markets we mentioned, 10% increase in Los Angeles just last Wednesday. Is it worth it? That's a big question for you guys. Let me take this out off the screen here. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to drive more? Let me ask that. Is it worth it to drive more? If you haven't been driving, is it worth it to get out there? Is it worth it? A 10% pay increase, and we talked about some of the reasons why it may not be worth it in our last video, and we have more of those points coming in the video tomorrow, but is it worth it? Let me know. Let me know. Again, I want to hear your feedback before I give my feedback here. Is it worth it? And again, this is affecting really, I would say, maybe the #1 market in the United States. Closely compared to New York City, but Los Angeles is probably pretty up there, maybe a close second to New York City as far as the biggest rideshare market in the entire country. This is affecting a lot of drivers. How many drivers are we thinking are in LA? Let me ask you that. That's a side question, guys. How many drivers do you think are in LA? Part-time and full-time drivers. That's interesting to think about. Is it worth it? 10% pay increase, guys. Let me know. Quaker Oats says Lyft will do the smart thing, become cheaper than Uber to get more passengers to sign up. The interesting thing they've done there, Quaker Oats, is every single time Uber has raised the rates, Lyft has actually raised rates as well. So if they took a different strategy and they wanted to stay lower than Uber, I don't see them doing that. But if they did, then theoretically, yes, they could try to draw in more passengers because they're cheaper than Uber, but we'll see. I haven't seen them do that in Pittsburgh, at least. All right, guys, let's see here. Ali says it's worth when the price is $1.25 per mile and 25 cents per minute and a $1 base fare. Kenneth, thanks for joining. What's up, Mike? I'm in the building. Kenneth, I appreciate you being here. If you just joined, guys, I really appreciate you joining. We're talking about, is the pay increase, are pay increases from Uber in general worth it? Specifically, a 10% pay increase. If you say, hey, Mike, my market didn't get it. In the first round with Pittsburgh, I didn't get it. I'm not in LA. This doesn't affect me. I didn't get it there either. I'm not in LA. Let me just ask you in general. If you're the next market, if you woke up tomorrow and your Uber app said, hey, such and such market is getting a 10% pay increase. Answer this question for me. Is it worth it? What would your reaction be? Would you open the app and say, like, all right, that doesn't mean anything to me? Or would you say, you know what, I was really close to getting out there more. I think that's what's going to do it. Let me know. V, the driver, thanks for joining, says, I think we have 100,000 plus drivers in Los Angeles. To give you guys an idea, we have about, I shouldn't say we, I'm down in San Diego, but LA has about 4 million residents. So looking at over 100,000 plus drivers. Jen Joy, thanks for joining. Just checking in. Yeah, rates have gone up, but so has gas prices. That's another thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Is it worth it to have a 10% pay increase when gas prices traditionally are coming up on the highest rates they're going to be for the entire year in June, July, generally the summertime? So what is this really doing, right? What is this really doing if the expenses are going up, and that's gas prices, and you're just getting a 10% pay increase? So here are my thoughts on it. Like I mentioned in my initial video talking about Pittsburgh and those other markets that got pay increases, I do think it's worth it as long as those gas prices aren't skyrocketing yet. I don't know, maybe. Take a look right now, guys. Right now, I don't know if you use Gas Buddy or an app that tracks gas prices, or if there's a way to track trends, I'm sure there are, to see the changes in gas prices over each day. And we can see how gas prices are fluctuating for specific markets. That would be interesting to see. But take note of where gas prices are now. And as long as it stays relatively close to that amount, then yes. I mean, basically, here's the short of it. As long as gas prices don't increase by 10% or more, you're making more money. If they increase more than 10%, then that negates the 10% that Uber just gave us. Uh-oh, guys, we just lost the light. Uh-oh. Oh, well. We did just lose it, guys. No worries. So that's my thoughts on it. It's about balancing the expenses, about balancing, the profit of this 10% pay increase. That's what's really going to make sense. It doesn't make sense as long as the gas prices go up, or they're going to stay the same. Quaker Oats says, if 100,000 drivers were around, how come so many pull pings me so often? It's the pull, guys, and the express pull. I actually got a look at Express Pull from a coworker that was pulling it up for me, and I want to do a video on that. But the Express Pull and the pull is not. I've never been a fan of it. I've never been a fan of it. Rudy says, no way, rates need to be at least $1.25 a mile and 25 cents per minute. I think that's a great point. I think bare minimum, bare minimum, it's got to be 125 and 25 cents a minute. And again, I like 150. 150 makes sense for me. Again, when I started in Pittsburgh, October of 2015, it was 120 a mile. That was decent, but it surged a lot. Uber was relatively new to the market and it surged a good amount. So, Rudy, yes, 125 a mile would be great. I would love to see 150. Don't think they're going to do it though. Hey Gina, thanks for joining. I don't know where the raising rates for drivers are, but not in Florida. Florida needs higher rates. I mean, Florida needs to be what? At least it's interesting that $1 a mile is asking for a what, 40-cent increase? If it's still 65 cents a mile in Florida, which is what, guys? Well, you're asking for like over a 50% increase in rates, but they need it. You can't have 65 cents a mile. I mean, $1 a mile still seems pretty low. We're talking about 125 being a happy medium. We're talking about 150 being an optimal range. Yeah, Florida definitely needs higher rates. V the driver, yeah, says Express Pool is very popular here. Quaker Oats, PAX can't afford that kind of rate, so maybe it's good for the drivers, but not for the passengers. And Jen Joy says, is that before or after Uber's cut? I believe that is before. It's like a gross pay increase, that 10%. So, yeah, that is a gross pay increase from my understanding. Hey, new man, 2772, new name here in the live chat. Appreciate you joining. The rates will keep going up from now on, but the surge will disappear as many people are driving for Uber. That is a big point that I was focusing on the initial video talking about these pay increases. Is that, okay, well, hey, if we are seeing higher rates, will that surge go away? Here's what I can tell you guys. Capitalize on that happy medium if that happens. What do I mean by that? That transition time. That Uber, hopefully, will keep increasing rates in most every market. And as they do, maybe they'll slowly decrease surge. But in the meantime, while there still is surge and while rates are still high, capitalize on that. Maybe be out there a little bit longer, maybe drive a little bit earlier in the evening to start to capitalize on surge. And again, always watch the surge. Let's see what the apps are doing right now. And it's 9:30 here on a Saturday. Pretty nominal. And the point is, you want to continue to do the research on both apps, on Uber and Lyft. Continue to watch for the times when both apps are going to surge and to see if that changes. If it's becoming less and less, as rates become higher and higher, okay, that's what you need to look for. T dot, sorry, I'm just joining. What is this? Is I believe what you're asking. So we are doing a live stream right now talking to you guys about the 10% pay increase for Los Angeles. And actually right now we are 23 minutes in. So now's a good time, guys. If you can, since you're watching the live stream anyway, since you're joining me anyway, if you can do something for me, which is really important, if you could leave a like on this video, shows me that you guys get value in these videos, this one, this stream, all the videos on this channel, and it shows me again that you guys get value, that you like the content on this channel, gets more eyes in here, gets more people on the Your Driver team, and of course, it boosts us in YouTube's almighty algorithm. If you can please leave a like on this video, and I'm kind of bummed that the light went out. It needed more of a charge, guys. I'm kind of bummed about that. That's okay. Okay, guys. So, Quaker Oats says that you can still make money even though so many drivers are online. You just get a branch out, do other app-based jobs. And I was going to ask you about that today. And now's a good time to ask you, have you moved to other apps? With everything going on with Uber and Lyft, with more and more drivers maybe signing up. I'm not even going to say that a ton of drivers are signing up, because we know the retention rate isn't that great and the rates aren't spectacular. And I think some drivers will say, well, hey, is a market saturated? Should I really sign up for Uber and Lyft? Let me look at some other apps. Are you guys moving to other apps? I've been a big fan of Amazon Flex. We're firing up right now, guys. And I doubt there's any offers right now. But if there are, I may be jumping out here right after this live stream. But that is the one downside with Amazon Flex. So this is Amazon Flex. We've talked about it a few times on the channel. It allows you to do deliveries for Amazon, restaurant deliveries for Amazon, and grocery deliveries via Amazon. And again, it's another app-based independent contractor job. Pays a flat $18 per hour pre-tax. But finding a time slot, because you have to schedule time slots, is kind of tricky. And what I found with Amazon Flex is that there's not a lot of late night time slots. What if I wanted to work, 10 p.m. until 2, 3 a.m.? I don't find a lot of those overnight, night slots. But they can still do Amazon restaurant deliveries, okay? Well, maybe up until 2 a.m., let's say. That's probably when the latest restaurants are open, I would say. But because you're not going to be doing package or grocery deliveries. So I would like to see that. I would like to see later time slots for Amazon Flex. But you can always do Uber Eats if you want to do deliveries. But again, guys, there's so many other apps. I'm kind of interested in checking some other apps too. Anthony B, thanks for joining. Why is every city, from what I've heard, had a pay increase for drivers, but Phoenix, Arizona, the reason are rates for the customers, but they're still paying us the same? I'm not quite understanding that. Albert, hey, thanks for joining. Quaker Oats says, Postmates has been offering bonuses up to $120 on dinner hours. So I was just thinking about that today. Is like, okay, well, if I'm looking at other apps other than, I was actually thinking about for the first time something like a DoorDash or Postmates. And for those apps, it's just another option for earnings. If Uber and Lyft are doing all this craziness with pay increases, more drivers, saturation, we got to have some other options. So that's why I was thinking about some other apps. And it'd be interesting to hear from you guys if you guys are looking at some other apps as well. Hey, Francisco, thanks for joining as always. Phoenix? I'm forgetting your market, Francisco. Or Philadelphia. Maybe Philadelphia. 20 cents per minute, and I need a reminder, and 127 per mile. 127 per mile is pretty good. Again, guys, remember, 2015 Pittsburgh was 120 a mile, and I drove those standard fares. I would probably drive standard fares, again, around 120 a mile, 125. I wouldn't necessarily need surge, but don't quote me on that, Uber, if you hear that. I really want 150 a mile to be much more reliable, right? 120, 125 a mile is kind of the bare minimum without surge, but that's pretty good. Philly, yeah, Jen Joy says Philly. I'm in the same market. Thanks for that. Albert says, the OC got a raise as well. Orange County, you are correct. Yes, Orange County got a pay increase as well, guys. Okay, so just to recap here, if you're just joining, check it out. Just last Wednesday, this came across your app if you're in Los Angeles, a 10% pay increase on the per mile, per minute, and wait time amounts on economy versions on Uber. That is UberX and Uber Pool. We were mentioning that. This really echoes the pay increases that happened earlier this month with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Michigan having a 10% pay increase as well. We showed that Lyft matched these prices, so look for possible increases on Lyft in LA as well. Guys, I did want to mention one more thing here. And that was the expansion of cargo that was just announced this week. I'm thinking it was this week. Yeah, pretty sure it was this past week. So there is big news from Cargo. And again, if you guys are not familiar with Cargo, simply search Cargo in my channel, or you can check out the links below for more information. But in short, Cargo is an in-car convenience system for drivers and passengers, and allows drivers to earn approximately $150 to $300 plus per month for just driving rideshare like you do anyway, and offering some free and some at cost items to your passengers. So the news that I wanted to talk about, let's jump in the display capture here, guys. Check it out. This shouldn't be new. Now this is Cargo, again, the in-car system for passengers that allows drivers to earn, again, $150 to $300 plus per month. And you can see here the title from CNBC says, you can now buy drinks, snacks, and even hangover cures in the back of your Uber. But that's not the news here. If we scroll down, guys, right here. Sorry, not right there. Right here. Cargo announced Wednesday that Coca-Cola is now a partner with the brand providing its smart water drink to riders. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool, guys. I've been a fan of Cargo since day one. I am really pumped to partner with Cargo to bring this to you guys, really as one of the first channels to talk about Cargo. And again, check out the system first. But if this is something that you're interested in, there is a link below to sign up. And it's a completely free system. To you as a driver, it's completely free. And you can see here, guys, Cargo has already partnered with national brands really since day one. They've gotten a lot of backing. They got $5.5 million in funding as well in a funding round just months ago. And now they've partnered with Coca-Cola. Cargo has already been gaining steam, but it's still just the beginning. And for them to already partner with brands like Coca-Cola to get $5.5 million in funding, this is still somewhat under the radar. So I really encourage you, if you're interested in Cargo, check out the links below. Make sure to sign up, because there's also some more news with Cargo. Someone mentioned this earlier about expansion. Check out here at the bottom, guys. Cargo plans to expand to the West Coast cities during this year, 2018, and hopes that international expansion will follow. So the main thing with Cargo, I know a lot of you guys mentioned, well, hey, Cargo is not my market. I love Cargo, it's just not in my market yet. I always encourage you guys to sign up since day one, since we kind of brought this to you, because they've been expanding this entire time. And I have a list of cities right here. I know primarily we always thought of this as, okay, well, it was in kind of what? It was in New York City, it was in Chicago, it was kind of in like Detroit, right? Wasn't that it? Oh, come on. No, they've done a lot more expansion, guys. So yes, New York City, Chicago, these are ones they're already live in, by the way. Don't miss the boat. They're already live in these markets. New York City, Chicago, Boston, DC, I know a lot of you guys are in DC, Baltimore, Minneapolis, Detroit, and the home of Coca-Cola's headquarters, Atlanta. So they're already live in those markets. The drivers that I have signed up, and I appreciate every single one of you that has signed up. I use Cargo. I love it. It's really easy. But if you're in any of these markets, guys, sign up now because they are live. And the news that we just heard in that article and from my contacts at Cargo is next stop, the West Coast. The next stop for Cargo is here in California. People on the West Coast, they're finally coming to the West Coast. I know a lot of you guys were really pumped for them, and they're coming. There's tons of drivers, again, in LA, Sacramento, San Francisco. I know we were mentioning San Francisco earlier, down here in San Diego, hopefully. But that's the next step, is they're coming to the West Coast. So if you've been on the fence, well, hey, I like it. Seems like a cool system, but when do they expand to the West Coast? They're over in New York. When are they really going to get here? They are going to be expanding. The next stop is the West Coast. So again, guys, search cargo on my channel to get more information about cargo. There is a cargo playlist on the channel as well if you want to catch up on all the videos we did on cargo. And again, please do not be one of the last ones. Sign up now so you can start getting the system as soon as possible and start benefiting from the system when it goes live in the West Coast soon here, guys. So don't wait. Use that link below to sign up. Really pumped that they are expanding, guys. Let's catch up with you. T-Dot Kicks, we need that in Georgia. Well, hey, Atlanta. There you go. T-Dot, are you in Atlanta? Because they are live in Atlanta. It's pretty cool, guys. It's a free system to drivers. Everything's free. The cargo box is free, which is LED lit. It plugs into your car. It looks really nice and modern, very clean. The products are free. They are sent to you for free. The replenishment, which is tracked electronically, so you don't have to fill out any forms. There's nothing like that. You don't have to journal sales or anything like that. It's all done automatically. The products are free. The replenishment when you get low is free. And you get a commission off of those sales. Whether you hand, guys, if listen to any point, listen to this one point right here. You get commission on the sale, whether it's a free product or if it's an at cost item to the passenger. You'll still get a commission on that sale. So guys, hey, again, follow those links. I didn't want to talk about it too much for you guys that have already heard about cargo, but I was excited to tell you that they're expanding. Let's see here, guys. Catching up with you. Oh, Genjoy just gave me a heads up, guys. Lyft already matched prices in Los Angeles. Thank you, Genjoy. They already did it. Lyft already matched prices in Los Angeles. I told you guys, they don't hesitate. Every market that Uber seems to increase, well, every market they do increase rates in, Lyft is always right in their shadow, and they do it, again, like really within 24 hours. Interesting. So it looks like they match prices in LA. Genjoy, thanks for that. Let's see. Albert says, could I drive in San Francisco and make $2,000 a week, but hate it? I'm, again, not exactly sure if I'm understanding if there's a question here, but if you're asking if you can commute into San Francisco, and if you can make $2,000 a week, again, not being in that market, I don't want to give you wrong information. I think maybe someone in the San Francisco market, if that is your question, by the way, can maybe help with that. Genjoy says, I'm surprised they didn't raise XL rates also. Interesting. And if you guys are on XL, let me know how it's been for you. Really, regardless of what market you're in, I'm really interested because honestly, I do not hear enough about XL or even SUV, the more premium services, Uber Select. Actually, yeah, Uber Premium, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. But if you are an XL, let me know. I have not heard enough about how XL's been doing. Quaker Oats says LA County raises on Uber is the same as Lyft. Okay, Ventura County guys still get $1 per mile on Lyft. T-Dot Kicks, I just used your link for cargo. Thanks, I'm in Georgia. T-Dot, you're welcome. And again, if you guys are in Atlanta, Georgia, they're live right now. They're live right now, so jump on it right now before everyone else gets wind of it because I see a lot of you guys signing up. Full disclosure, that is an affiliate link below, so I do get a commission when you guys sign up, and I really do appreciate that. It is a fantastic system, guys. The way it's set up, the brands that they're partnering with, again, Coca-Cola, there is Cheez-Its, there's some brands you haven't heard of, but are very strong partners with cargo because they're great products. Skittles, there's phone chargers in there as well. There's a lot of products that your passengers are going to need. And again, some new, but also the credibility of the ones that they already know. National brands and a partner with Coca-Cola is fantastic. Congrats to the Cargo team for that. But guys, again, last time I'm going to say it, but if you are interested in cargo, I encourage you to not wait because there's going to be a wait list. There's already a wait list. So if you're interested or if you're just thinking about it, and guys, it's free. It's free. If you don't like it, you can return the box. I believe there is a cost, just so you know, to return the box. I'm sure it's pretty nominal, but you can try it out. It's a free system. If it doesn't work for you, again, you can return it. But it is a free system, so give it a try. Sign up with the link below if you're interested. Quaker Oats says, I noticed Lyft has started surging in places it normally would not surge in. That is interesting. So with that, I'm curious to know if that's a seasonal change, why it would be surging in areas it wouldn't typically surge in. Is there something with seasonality that's causing that? Are there, I don't know, are there other areas in the market that are pulling drivers? Downtown, the bars, cultural district, whatever it is, and maybe drivers forgot about that area, depending on what area of the city or your market that is. Maybe, drivers just simply forgot about it. And guys, there are secret kind of hotspots. We did a video on secret hotspots. I'll try to link it up here in the rebroadcast. But no, hey, there's no absolute secret spot in any city. Okay, it's a city. There's no secret areas, but there are underserved areas that drivers may not initially think about and that locals or market experts can capitalize on. For instance, citing Pittsburgh, because I'm familiar with Pittsburgh, there's areas northeast of the city. There's areas northeast of the city that had their own bars, that have a very vibrant cultural, whatever, community, what have you, that brought in a lot of foot traffic, late hours for those bars and the restaurants when everyone else was in the south end of the city, the north shore of the city, downtown. And that northeast version went underserved. The northeast segment of the city went underserved. All right, guys, let's see. Hey, Eric Schultz, thanks for joining. What's up, Mike? Eric from Surprise, Arizona. I need to check something, guys. I didn't know if Eric said, hey, surprise, I'm also from Arizona like everyone else in here, or if there was an actual place called Surprise, Arizona. And surprise to me, pun intended, there is actually a Surprise, Arizona. You learn something new every day, guys. Eric from Surprise, Arizona, thanks for joining. So guys, any questions here? We got about, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes left here about the pay increases. Again, really, really quick. This happened, 10% pay increase for LA. We also found out Orange County got pay increases as well. Questions about cargo's expansion. Right here, guys, questions about cargo's expansion. Again, they are now in New York, Chicago, Boston, DC, Baltimore, Minneapolis, Detroit, and Atlanta. And they just announced last Wednesday that they are partnering with Coca-Cola, which is huge for them. Congrats to Cargo. So any questions about those topics here? I'm going to field some more of your questions, guys, before we wrap it up for tonight. I'm bummed that the light went out, guys. I don't know. More charging time for next time. More charging time. Yeah, Eric confirms. Yes, there is a town, Surprise, Arizona. Nice. Genjoy says, well, we know Cargo isn't on Uber's expansion plan. The interesting thing about Cargo, guys, is Uber let Cargo into their API, if I'm saying that correctly here, but Uber let cargo into their API software because you can log on a cargo via Uber. Now, it doesn't give them a ton of access, I don't believe, but cargo is approved. I was trying to remember this correctly. Cargo is approved by Uber. If you have any concerns about that, Uber did approve cargo to use their system. Obviously, okay, their system, so no worries there. Quaker Oats, will the pay increase make a difference? In short, yes, but we have to watch expenses. That was my thought on the last video. That's my thought going with this pay increase this past week. Yes, it will make a difference as long as the expenses stay the same. We probably know that expenses are not going to stay the same. So for the month or so that gas prices are decent before they really spike in the summertime, then you can make some more money. Again, there's a lot of caveats, guys. Is how many more drivers may hit the road because of this? Will surge decrease because of more drivers in the road? Will Uber decrease surge just because of their price increase? A lot of speculation. Hey, Amuse, thanks for joining. Does anyone use a tablet to Uber? I don't, but I know drivers that, well, not personally, but I know that drivers do use tablets to Uber, yes. Genjoy says, what I mean is Uber expanded as fast as they could. Cargo seems to be on a slower expansion. And because of the demand, Genjoy, that's a good point. Because, guys, of the demand that cargo received, I remember seeing some numbers somewhere about driver signups, but cargo received so much demand from drivers that they wanted to be smart with their expansion. Because, of course, they have to source all the products, they have to manufacture and source all the cargo boxes, set everyone up in the system. But I think they're doing it in a good, they have a good timeline right now. And again, drivers that have signed up, I can see you guys in the system. More and more of you are becoming live, which is awesome. It was a little bit more of a slow start to begin with, but hey, that's expected. This is a startup. But more and more of you guys are becoming activated on cargo. As you saw today, a lot of cities that cargo is already live in. And the next stop is the West Coast, which I think is fantastic. Cargo is coming to the West Coast, guys. Eric says expenses never stay the same when there's a pay increase. And yeah, guys, well, expenses, especially in rideshare in general, I mean, I can even make a macro level statement here, is rideshare is so volatile. When rates are going to increase, when are rates going to decrease, is surge going to change, more surge, less surge, more drivers on the road, less drivers, better pay incentives, guarantees or no guarantees. They remove them for some reason, right? There's so many things that change. Rideshare is so volatile. I said this in plenty of videos, guys. Have other revenue streams right now. Look for other revenue streams right now. So if one of these tapers off, slows down, changes for the worse, you have other revenue streams to use as well. Quaker Oats says the surge has not decreased. In fact, increased. It was a 4.7 on Monday morning for 20 minutes and had at least a 2.0 surge that's fantastic. A 2.0 surge for 2 hours, 4.7 for 20 minutes. That's really good. Keep in mind, however, guys, 4.7 for 20 minutes is fantastic, but if you get any ride, that's any kind of distance, you won't be able to get back there for another ride. Now, as you know, or if you're a new driver, you may not know this, is surge usually tapers down. It's not going to go from 4.7 to 0. It's not going to go from 4.7 to gone. It's going to go to 4.7, maybe 4.0, 3.8, 3.5, and so on. It typically drops down. Now, if demand has dropped through the floor, it's really going to drop fast, but it's still going to taper down. Also, if a lot of rides have been satisfied, it may surge and you may not get a request. Again, that's the volatility of rideshare. But that's pretty good. Yeah, 4.7 for 20 minutes, and especially the 2.0 for 2 hours, that's really good. You can get back to those zones and take more and more rides. Or if that zone covers the majority of your city, that'd be fantastic because you don't even have to go that far to get another surge ride. Eric says DoorDash has been good so far. That's good to hear. Again, different revenue streams, different apps is always a good idea. Muse asks Eric, are you using Wi-Fi, and what mount do you use? Guys, I wouldn't recommend using Wi-Fi unless you are tethered to your phone or if you have a hotspot in your car that you've set up. I wouldn't leave Wi-Fi on your device. I wouldn't just leave Wi-Fi open and on, searching for different public Wi-Fi networks. At least on iOS, if I log into Wi-Fi on a public Starbucks, let's say, Google via Starbucks, is my phone, once it drives by or parks near that Starbucks that I've been at before, even if the store is closed, the Wi-Fi is still on. So my phone will connect to that Starbucks that I'm parked right next to because I visited that Starbucks before, and it may bog down my Uber and Lyft app. It may cause it to run slow. Also, typically you'll have to verify the Wi-Fi as well. So it'll pop up a window and says, hey, do you want us to connect to the Starbucks Wi-Fi? So just in general, if you have your Wi-Fi on, it may be trying to search and grab and connect to different public hotspots that you've connected to before. Again, this is at least on iOS, so keep that in mind. Your phone will constantly be trying to grab Wi-Fi networks to connect to, and that could slow down your phone. Uber and Lyft apps cause surge to not change, cause you to miss a ride request because it never came through. So keep that in mind. I did do a video on that. If you want your phone to run as smoothly as possible, turn off Wi-Fi. You should still be fine on data. I wouldn't worry about that. I think we caught up with you guys. I think so, guys. I think so. Yeah, Eric says no Wi-Fi on the network for my cell phone company. It's through T-Mobile. All right, guys. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. But one more thing. We only asked once. We only asked once today, which is kind of funny, guys. I need to ask again. On your way out, before you go, again, I know there's a lot of good videos over here being recommended. If you could leave a like on this video, shows me that you enjoy videos like this stream, like all the videos on this channel, shows me that you get value from those videos. It gets more people in here, more eyes on the channel, more people on Your Driver Mike team, and of course, we're in this YouTube ecosystem, and we need to do something for the ecosystem and get our videos out there. It satisfies YouTube's almighty algorithm. If you could leave a like on this video on your way out, having a fantastic Saturday, I would really appreciate it, guys. So I do appreciate you joining here. For everyone watching live and on the rebroadcast, if you have any other questions at all, I try to answer most every single comment that comes through on this channel. Feel free to post them in the comments below. And guys, I will see you in the next one.